What's going on, beautiful people? Daniel Magyar in the building with another story today. And this story is coming from our sad follower who was dumped after a first date. So we didn't analyze what went wrong. He was pretty detailed in the conversation and dialogues, which gives us the opportunity to look deeply. What happened? Why didn't she like him? And what did he do wrong? Because in these cases, when a woman gives you an opportunity to take her out on a date, she's really giving you an opportunity to seduce her. And if you screw it up, it's mostly the man's fault in most of the cases. So we'll watch for all the signs. But before I get started, you already know. You can find my services at dmprotrainer.com. You can book a single consultation or you can join my program, 1, 3, and a 6-month program. And we can focus on the finances, fitness, and relationships. It's pretty much about a self-improvement. Now, if you're looking for my weight loss methods, you can find my book on Amazon called Weight Loss Without Plateau. Also, if you're looking for a beef that's really high quality, grass-fed, grass-finished from Utah and Texas, American raised, you can find it at dmbeef.com. Of course, all of the links will be added to the description of this video. And also, please hit like and subscribe on my channel so this information can go further and we prevent another brother doing things wrong on a date. All right, so let's get into today's email. I should probably begin this story with an admission, one that took me a long time to articulate without feeling a pinch of embarrassment. I genuinely believe that asking Emma out would be the beginning of a meaningful connection. I had interpreted her friendliness as an interest, her politeness as warmth, and every brief moment of eye contact as a signal that she might feel something similar to what I felt. Well, if there was eye contact, if she was all friendly and playful, yeah, that's a really good signal that a woman is open to a date, so you haven't done anything wrong yet. Only after everything unfolded did I learn that friendliness does not equal attraction, politeness does not promise commitment, and eye contact, fleeting as it was, could mean nothing at all. I mean, it depends what you do with it, because you can turn it into attraction. It depends what you communicate. But the story starts earlier, long before the date itself. Back when I convinced myself that she felt something too. I met Emma in a small co-working space downtown. I had just moved into a new freelance consulting role, and I wanted the kind of environment where I could overhead the tapping of keyboards and the soft sounds of people drinking their coffees while focusing on their screens. It gave me the sensation of productivity, even on days when I was barely able to turn a simple email into a coherent paragraph. Emma worked for a marketing agency that leased one of the private spaces along the corridor. She was one of the people I would occasionally see in the shared kitchen area when she came in for tea. The first few interactions were nothing, simple nods, acknowledgements of presence. But then I started saying hello, and she was always saying hello back, warmly. That's how it starts, always. I mean, it's playful, right? You notice her, you maintain eye contact, you tease her a little bit, you say hello, you get to know each other, you have a 2-3 minute conversations. Maybe that's where I made the wrong assumptions. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's absolutely no sign of attraction of her drinking tea. It's an opportunity to create attraction, but you don't assume she wants you because she's in the same kitchen area. One Thursday morning, I arrived early to finish a presentation. She entered the kitchen as I was stirring sugar into my coffee, and that might turn her off. Like, you shouldn't be drinking sugar in your coffee at all. So that's a big turn off. That's where it went wrong. Black coffee, just like your soul, brother. Her hair was loosely tied, her blazer slightly wrinkled, and she looked tired, but she still smiled. Morning, she said. Morning, I replied, trying to sound casual. You look like you're starting early today, too. She laughed softly. Early client call. I spilled coffee on my first blues of the day already. So it's going great. I laughed with her, perhaps too enthusiastically. Well, you still look great. No, that's not what you do. You don't give women compliments. and especially not the hot ones. Oh, hell no. You just position yourself into a role of a fan. Like the prettier the girl is, the less you interact with her appearance, the less you compliment her, and the less you talk about her appearance. Like, remember, she was given by God this beauty. She knows she's pretty. Trust me. She's been hearing that her entire life, since high school. So by you complimenting her looks, you're just positioning yourself into every other average dude out there. There was the first sign I missed. She didn't take the compliment as something meaningful. Just she's too hot. Like, the compliments to hot girls mean nothing. It's like it goes in through one ear and goes out through the other ear right away. You must be someone who she thinks about. You don't want to put her on a throne and a pedestal and start bowing to her like a servant. Oh my God, my highness, you're so hot, you're so beautiful, you're so this, you're so that. Every other guy does it. Every guy does it. That's why she doesn't respond to it, because you're no special. She wants to fall for a special guy. We'll get into it, how to make you special, but you never put hot women on a pedestal. She smiled politely, but she immediately broke eye contact, busying herself with the kettle. At the time, I told myself that she was simply preoccupied. We made small talk for a few minutes, worked early meetings, the weather, and then she left. I convinced myself that the conversation felt natural, that there was an ease between us. Now, you're focusing on this too much. That's what men do wrong. You're focusing on seducing her too much. Stop focusing. You got to look at hot women as just another member of Homo sapiens on this earth. Like, that's how simple it is. You don't change your behavior to women. She could be a little fat diabetic, which is 300 pounds, and she could be the hottest model that, whatever, imagine your hottest model. You don't change behavior to these women. You treat them exactly the same way. Doesn't matter how they look. That's how you're going to lose fear of talking to women, and you got to stop focusing on seducing her. Like, she can smell that. Women have sensors to identify what do you want. And if she smells you're just another average dude who's after her looks, she's going to categorize you into the category of fans. And she's not turned on by her fans. She might take a selfie with you, but that's about it. She wants that guy who is inaccessible, who's dominant, who's leader, who doesn't fall for her looks, who is a challenge and mystery at the same time, who doesn't talk about himself too much, and she is genuinely attracted to him. She wants to know, so she comes closer. Remember, the goal is to attract women to you. Do not chase them. If you chase them, they run. In truth, she was simply being friendly. Weeks went by, we talked occasionally, brief exchanges, always initiated by me, always answered by her with kindness, but never with initiative. Not once did she stop me first, and yet I interpreted her politeness as a green light. Yeah, you might be one of these annoying guys now. You're constantly trying to talk to her. She just wants the coffee from the kitchen and get out, but now she literally has to strategically think about how is she going to get in the kitchen without you noticing. You see, like, you're making it uncomfortable. It should be natural. You should see the flirt in her eyes. Like, she's actually interested into knowing you. But here, if you're constantly pursuing her, every time you see her, constantly opening small talks, while she's noticeably not interested, she never, ever starts a small talk with you. She's not interested. One afternoon, I decided I would take a chance. She was alone in the kitchen again, waiting for her tea to steep. I walked in, rehearsing my lines in my head, palms slightly sweaty. Ah, that's a bad spot to be in. You should never have sweaty palms from a girl. Doesn't matter who she is. She could be a Cleopatra, whoever. She could be running a kingdom of Egypt. I don't care. She's just another chick. That's how you have to look at it. Another member of Homo sapiens. Regardless of her beauty, social status, doesn't matter. Oh, hey, how's it going? She smiled again. She always did. Good, busy. Same as always, I cleared my throat. Listen, I really enjoyed our chats the last couple of months. I was wondering if you'd like to grab a coffee or maybe dinner sometimes. Just the two of us. She blinked, and for a moment there was a stillness, a moment I chose to interpret my way. Oh, she said gently, yeah, sure. Coffee or dinner sounds nice. Just listen to her voice, how excited she is about going out with you. Not at all. She probably feels sorry for you, and she's just way too nice to reject you, which is pretty rare for a hot girl, okay? Because hot chicks can break your heart in a heartbeat. They've done it since childhood. So this one right here is not as heartless. She feels sorry for you, so she'll just agree, I guess. Yeah, would be nice. The tone was not enthusiastic. I heard yes, and I chose not to hear the That's a good point. I saw her nod and chose not to see the uncertainty behind the gesture. Her eyes did not linger on mine, and yet I decided that the smile alone meant something. Great, I said too quickly. How about Saturday? There's a place I know. Quiet, good food. Saturday is fine, she said. Just text me the details. And that was that. I walked away thrilled, knowing that I had probably imagined half of her interest, but I clung to the other half desperately. Saturday evening, I arrived early at the restaurant. I had picked up a small bouquet of flowers because I thought it would impress her. Dude, you never bring flowers on a first date. Ever. You don't do gestures and you don't buy gifts. You only buy gifts and you do gestures for girlfriends and wives. That's it. Never ever to a stranger. You're way too excited. This is romantic movie shit. It never works with women, okay? On a first date, you're just gonna talk. You don't take it seriously. You're just there to be relaxed, maintain eye contact. You ask 20% questions. 80% of the talking is done by women. You let her speak about yourself. Okay, there was this study on a speed dates where they were studying which first speed date led to the second speed date. Only the ones where a woman said at least 7 times I. Women love to talk about themselves. If you make it all about yourself, she's not going to be interested. Boring, like watching a paint drying on the wall. That's how she's going to feel. Roses, she already knows she has you. Oh my God, you bring roses on a first date, she already knows she can have you. Hence, she doesn't have to try. She doesn't have to invest energy. So you become valueless. There's no value in you, okay? Women only are truly attracted to men that they have to invest their energy and effort to get. Someone who occupies her brain. You're not going to do it with flowers. Maybe I should have known better. Flowers on a first date can be a grand gesture, and grand gestures require a foundation. Ours was a hindsight barely enough to support small talk. Emma arrived 5 minutes early. She looked elegant in a light blues and a soft-colored skirt. When she saw me standing near the entrance with a bouquet, she smiled, but it wasn't a surprised or a delighted smile. Yeah, it was like, oh my God. Hi, Jesus. Like that's what she felt like. It was the polite smile of someone who wants to be gracious. Oh, flowers, she said. Thank you, that's very sweet, right? It's like the most boring answer she could ever give. She held them awkwardly, unsure where to put them, looking around as though hope in a vase would materialize. I should have noticed her hesitation, the subtle shift of her weight from one foot to another, the brief tightening around her eyes. Instead, I was too focused on how I thought the evening would go. We got seated at a small table by the window. The restaurant was softly lit, and the atmosphere should have felt intimate. It didn't not for her, anyway. From the moment she sat down, she kept her posture slightly angled away from me, a sign so obvious in a retrospect that I'm amazed I didn't register that. I didn't register it then. So that's actually a pro level shit that if like you've done some work, because if you notice woman's body language and her knees and feet point away from you, she's not open for a conversation. Her knees and her feet always have to point towards you. So you've done a pretty decent work of analyzing why did this went wrong. And now we were able to notice that her body language wasn't there. So how was your day? I asked, trying to strike up a conversation. It was fine, she said. Quiet. I mostly did some cleaning and caught up some emails. That sounds productive. My day was a bit crazy, honestly. I've been dealing with this client who keeps changing their scope, and I've had to redo a bunch of work. She nodded politely. That sounds frustrating. As the conversation continued, I found myself dominating most of it. I talked about my work, projects, hobbies, my recent trips to Denver, and even my childhood stories. I wasn't trying to hog the spotlight. I genuinely thought she was interested because she kept nodding, smiling, listening, and what she forgot is thinking about how the fuck do I get out of here, okay? She was bored as hell. No woman enjoys a guy on a date who talks too much. Like, you just revealed all of the mystery. You're not a challenge. You brought flowers. Now she knows. She can have you at any time. Just simply by consuming oxygen on this earth. like you can belong to her. Okay, and that's a problem. She needs to invest effort, energy. It has to be her idea to end up in your bed. She asked occasional questions, but they were minimal. How long did you stay in Denver? She asked. 4 days. I said enthusiastically. I went hiking every morning, and actually there's this one little trail. Let me show you. I reached for my phone, scrolling through pictures, holding them out to her. She leaned forward slightly to be polite, but didn't move closer. Her eyes darted briefly to the screen and then back to the candle on the table. Looks beautiful, she commented. Oh my God, this girl was just thought to be so nice. Like she's just trying not to hurt your feelings so badly here. Her parents probably raised her that way, like always be nice to people. So that's why, from her niceness, she agreed to a date. Yeah, in this spot, that's where I almost tripped because I wasn't looking where I was going, but hey, the view was worth it. She laughed politely. Her eyes didn't crinkle. Her voice didn't deepen the way it does when someone genuinely laughs. The signs were everywhere and I didn't see a single one of them because you were focused on the outcome. You really wanted her to be your girlfriend. That's the problem. You never go out on a date and expect something out of it. Ever. You're going to over-communicate the interest. That's what you just did. Over-communicate an interest means that you let the woman know that she can have you at any time without her putting any effort in. And that turns every woman off. So what about you? I finally asked. Do you like hiking? Not really, she said. I'm more of an indoor person. I like reading. I love reading too. Oh God. I said quickly, even though the last book I finished had been years ago. Yeah, you're just trying so hard to find something in common just so you can fit in her life, just to prove her how good you are. That's not how it works. What kind of books? A little bit of everything, she replied. Mostly literature, literally fiction, sometimes thrillers. Well, I should get your recommendations. She gave me a small nod. Sure. Our food arrives, and I thought maybe things would ease up. They didn't. Every time our eyes met, she looked away fast. Too fast. When I tried to compliment her, she dismissed it gently. You look beautiful tonight, I said, feeling the warmth in my cheeks. She smiled but lowered her gaze. Thank you, that's kind. Not thank you that means a lot, because it doesn't mean shit. That's why. Because she's like, oh my God, I heard that like 3 times today, just on the way to this date, from average dude on a gas station. Now you look great too. Just thank you. Kind, neutral, safe. Because you gotta realize, you look great to hot women means nothing. During the meal, she mostly kept her hands on her lap, or gently holding the edge of the table. Her body never leaned in. Even her smile seemed measured. Still, I pressed on. You know, I really enjoyed talking to you, I told her midway through the evening. Thank you, she responded softly. That's nice to hear. Oh, this chick is trying to be so nice. She's trying so hard not to break your heart, even though she knows there's no way she will spread her legs for you. Ever. Ever. She knows that. Not, I enjoy talking to you too. Not even similar sentiment. Just another polite acknowledgement. Looking back, I understand fully she was kind and not interested. When the check came, I reached for it instinctively. She immediately put her hand on it. I'm happy to split, she said. Oh, really? I can get it, I replied, perhaps too quickly. No, she insisted, still smiling. Let's do 50-50, it's only fair. She wasn't saying it to be progressive. She wasn't saying it to show independence. She was saying it because she didn't want to owe me anything. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. She didn't want you to think you guys were on a date. She didn't want you to believe that there could be any potential romantic future for you two. That's why she offered 50-50, okay? But I didn't understand that then. I rationalized it as modern dating etiquette. No. Oh, hell no. You always pay for a woman's meal. Always. And if you don't have the money for a woman's meal, don't date. Just go back. You got a different problem. Don't date women. Just go back to work, make some more money. Because it's, man, come on. Like, it's a really shitty situation, right? You ask a girl out, you pay for her meal. You're good. You can handle a meal. After the bill was settled, we stepped outside. The evening breezy blew gently and the street was lined with warm lamps. I tried to prolong the moment. I had a really good time, I told her. She nodded. Thank you, it was nice. Again, nice, neutral, polite. Well, I'll walk you to your car, I offered. That's okay, she said quickly. It's just around the corner. Like, she's rejecting you. Like, walk away. Leave me alone. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Like, you gotta understand, women don't want to tell you right in your face. This was a shit show, dude. It was boring. I mean, I would have more fun looking at the wet paint drying on the wall. That's how I felt the whole time. You constantly were talking about yourself. You brought me flowers. I know I can have you. I'm not attracted. I'm not interested. Yeah, good luck finding a woman who's going to say this to your face. Because women in general don't want to hurt your feelings. They're emotional themselves. Like, they perceive this earth through emotions. Man is logic, okay? So to a woman, she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. She's trying to avoid the hard talk. Most of the women will run away from the hard conversation if they can without entering the hard conversation. And she just doesn't want to hurt your feelings. She's like, oh, no, that's okay, I'll walk. But what she wants to say, no, I'm walking alone. This was boring as hell. Yeah, I'm not attracted. That's what she wants to say. There it was, the clearest sign of the night. Declining the walk, I told myself she was just being considerate. Okay, I said with a small smile. Drive safe. You too, she waved politely, gave a faint smile, and walked away. She didn't look back. I watched her go, still convinced that the date had gone well enough, that her quietness was simply her personality, that her politeness was interest. I took my phone out and immediately typed, had a great time tonight, would love to see you again. Dude, no. No. Hell no, you can't be doing this. Listen, you said that her quietness was just simply her personality. No woman's quiet. None of them. If a woman has feelings for you, if a woman is genuinely attracted to you, she will never stop talking. She does like an audiobook. Like everything. She's going to tell you everything. What she saw, what she's into, what she likes to do, the reels she saw today on Instagram, about her work, parents, childhoods, her last cat, the dog named Bobby who died from cancer 8 years ago. You're going to find out everything. Everything. That's when a woman is genuinely attracted. She communicates with you. If a woman is not attracted, this is what happens. Emma, say something. Mm-mm. Emma. Mm-mm. Emma, say something. Why aren't you talking? Because I feel nothing. That's your girl on a date. Like I'm telling you, there's no quiet girl. Girls only get quiet if they don't like you. By you texting her right away, listen, your job on a first date is to move into her head. What you're pretty much doing on a first date, you're moving in like a little soldier right into her head. That means that after she leaves the date, she cannot stop thinking about you. And the only thing a woman's going to remember is how she felt with you, not what you said. So whatever you guys talk about doesn't matter, as long as she talks 80% of the time. If she's having fun, you're good. So that's why you always navigate the conversation towards humor. You ask questions because the dominant position in a conversation is the one who is asking questions. You lead her wherever you want, okay? And if she gets distracted and she leaves the topic and she gets somewhere between 5-6 different topics in 10 minutes, you navigate her back on the initial topic. That's how she's going to feel you have control over the conversation. You're psychologically communicating dominance. That's why you're asking 20% questions, 80% of the talking is done by women, and you navigate the conversation towards humor. Always make her laugh. And after that, you let her go. You never let women, you never text women right after a first date. Let her think about you. Let her miss you. Let her check the phone. Did he text me? Why didn't he text me? Now, the attraction breeds in quietness, and still, without you. You have to allow her to miss you, okay? I sent it before I could overthink. She didn't reply that night, or the next, or ever again. Oh, we all been there. At first, I told myself she was busy. After a couple of days, I told myself she was overwhelmed with work. And after a week, I told myself maybe she had lost the phone. No, she saw the message the split second you send it, because most women just sit on their phone and scroll through Instagram. She knows exactly you sent the message. Each excuse was more ridiculous than the last, but I held on to them because the alternative, that she simply wasn't interested, was too painful to face. I saw her at the co-working space about 10 days after the date. She was talking to a colleague in the kitchen. When she noticed me, she gave me the same polite smile. Oh my God, she must feel so awkward right now. She's like, oh geez. I'm telling you, she was avoiding this kitchen where you guys met initially as much as she could. Like, she was literally planning not to go there. And if she goes there, just straight in and out to get the coffee, not to meet you. Okay? Because she knows you will want to interact with her, and she's not into it at all. You're making it difficult for her just to breathe in her workspace. Hey, I replied, feeling awkward. How's it going? No, you shouldn't ask. Good, she said. Busy, you know how it is. Where's this conversation going? Like, what is this empty sentence? Why would you try to talk to a woman with empty sentences that you know going nowhere? I wanted to ask why she hadn't replied. I wanted to ask if she wanted to see me again. I wanted some kind of explanation, but then I noticed how she suddenly shifted her body away from mine, how she kept the conversation with her colleague going as though to prevent the two of us from being alone. That's a clear sign right there. That's a clear sign. She's not interested. Body, boom, away from you. Back focus on the colleague. Like, she's not giving you the opportunity to talk to her. You got to respect it. Like, by you coming up to her and like, hey, Emma. She's like, oh my God. Like, you just communicated more emotional weakness. Like, it's almost like, how do I say it? It's like emotional retardation, okay? She's going to be like, holy shit, this guy doesn't get it. I don't know how else to say it, and I don't want to say it out loud. You know, like, these women, she's just way too nice to tell you straight in your face. She wasn't rude, she wasn't cold, she wasn't avoiding me dramatically. She was simply keeping distance, gentle, firm, and indisputable. Good to see you, she said before turning back fully to her colleague. Yeah, I replied, you too. That was the last meaningful interaction we ever had. I spent a long time dissecting the date in my mind. I replayed every smile, every word she said, every gesture. I reinterpreted them with the clarity that only hindsight allows. Her being nice but not interested, it was politeness. Yeah, but she also agreed. I mean, listen, she went on a date. If a woman goes on a date with you, and what nice girls do, they'll agree to a date, but once when you actually text them, they'll never text back, or they'll say they're too busy. Or when you come up with Friday night, they already have plans in Idaho with the family, okay? So they will just postpone it, and they're hoping you're going to get it. Like, they're not interested. They will never say it out loud. She actually went out on a date. She gave you a slightest chance somewhere in the back of her mind, like, let's see what's going to happen. Maybe. You know, whatever. So as you guys went out and you brought the flowers, my brother, you buried yourself right there. Like, all the chances in your head were gone that split second. And then you just talked about yourself too much. On a date, you focus on a woman. You ask questions, you don't talk about yourself. You preserve mystery. You're a challenge. You're not afraid to correct her. If she's talking about something that you are very intelligent in, you hop in. And you say, that's not entirely how it is. And you fix her. And she's like, oh my God, he knows more than I do. Oh yeah, exactly, my friend. Exactly. Her listening was not engagement, it was courtesy. Well, you just made her your emotional tampon. Like, her just listening to your feelings. It's just not the dynamics where a woman's gonna fall in love. Her nodding was not encouragement, it was patience. Her splitting the bill was not independence, it was boundary setting. Correct. Great realization. And her silence afterwards, that was the kindest version of rejection she could offer. I think many people assume rejections happen in dramatic ways, with witched messages, angry remarks, abrupt endings. After a first date? Like, you guys had nothing to do with each other. Like, you weren't in a relationship. Rejection is like part of the game. You have to get used to it. Every single man will get rejected. Okay? Some women will think you're their hero, and some women will think you're like just like some ugly bullhead, some weird speaking Slovakian dude that lives in America. Okay? So you're not going to be a hero for every chick. You're going to be rejected, 100%. You better get ready for it. But after a first date, how could this be angry? Like, if you had a bad, if you had a fight with a woman after a first date, you screwed it up tremendously. Just there's no foundation. You guys don't even know each other. But sometimes rejection is subtle. Sometimes it is just a lack of enthusiasm, a lack of what is this? Reciprocity. Reciprocity. You get it? Sometimes it comes in the form of a gentle smile and a polite decline to walk her to her car. Emma didn't owe me attraction. She didn't owe me a text. She didn't owe me a second date. Looking back, I realized the date wasn't unpleasant for her because I was rude or disrespectful. It was simply uncomfortable because she didn't feel the connection I thought was there. And you really wanted to date her. That's the problem. You never go on a date expecting an outcome. You don't expect to sleep with the girl. You don't expect to date her, nothing. You're just meeting another member of Homo sapiens. That's how you look at it, so simply. Just find out who she is. She was being kind, perhaps too kind, and I misread her gentleness as affection. I told myself I was being polite, respectful, attentive. But I was also talking too much about myself, showing off my accomplishments, trying to impress her, instead of genuinely getting to know her. I wasn't listening, I was performing. When she nodded and smiled, I filled the gaps with what I wanted to believe. Her disinterest was not hidden, I was simply unwilling to see it. Sometimes attraction is unmistakable. It lights the air between two people, makes conversation effortless, eye contact magnetic, gestures warm. But sometimes attraction is absent and all that fills the space is politeness. And politeness is enough to stay in a pleasant conversation but never a connection. I think about that night occasionally, not with regret anymore, but with clarity. So one thing I can tell you, Eastern Europeans aren't really like this. A lot of American women are like this. A lot of them. They will do anything just not to say no to a date. Eastern Europeans, I would say 60% of them will play this game. 40% will tell you straight in your face, no. In America, freaking 95% of women will behave like this. It's just going to be like the best friends always smiling. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, sure, text me. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Maybe Saturday, text me. And then she just never gets back to you. Okay? That's pretty common. I would say Eastern Europeans are a lot more harsh, I would say. They don't really care about your heart. It does not require decoding. If someone wants to see you again, they make space for you. They reply, they reciprocate. Emma didn't, and that's okay. If anything, I'm grateful that she handled the situation with sensitivity. Well, but you gotta start speaking of womanese, my brother. You don't understand the womanese language, okay? She was saying she's not interested literally from the moment you gave her flowers. You killed it there. She didn't pretend to be interested to spare my feelings. Oh yeah, she did. You just haven't met the heartless woman yet. I'll take you back to Europe and I'll show you. She gave just enough distance for me to understand eventually that she did not want anything anymore. I no longer romanticize the memory. I no longer replay the conversations, looking for signs that I missed something positive. Instead, I replay to understand how important it is to pay attention, not just to words, but to tone, body language, and emotional reciprocity. Dude, I can't say that word. Reciprocity. Did I say it right? Kindness and attraction are not the same, and silence in the end is an answer. Well, you've done a pretty good job self-analyzing yourself, point out the mistakes, especially like the body language that you pointed out, that her body language turned away. That's some pro-level shit, to understand that. So, yeah, just keep analyzing, keep watching my channel. We'll be breaking down all kinds of stories from the dates, how to gain attraction, how to use eye contact, because you can use eye contact for scaring people, for creating romantic attraction, for making people feel heard and understood, for making them feel like you didn't kill them, to make yourself look like a psychopath. Like, you can use eye contact for anything. That's pretty much nonverbal communication from soul to soul on a deeper level. And if you know how to use this right, oh man, then it triggers women like crazy. Yeah, They get very erotic after that. But long story short, thank you so much for sending this email. Guys, please hit like and subscribe on my channel, and I'll see you in the next